is right about now, after 10 weeks have expired in the NFL season, that one sees smatterings of the playoff picture beginning to take shape. Some teams around the league have spent the season doing little more than chasing their own shadow, while others, like the Cleveland Browns, are in the thick of their division race, chasing down a playoff spot. Last Sunday, the Browns traveled to sunny Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Both Cleveland and Philadelphia stood at 6-3, a game behind their respective division leaders, Pittsburgh and Dallas, last year's Super Bowl participants. Eagle quarterback Ron Jaworski had suffered 2 consecutive losses prior to the showdown with Cleveland, but hoped that receiving teammate Harold Carmichael would pave the way to victory while achieving his NFL consecutive game catching record. Nearly 70,000 had come to witness Carmichael's historic catch. They would be treated to a heart-pumping thriller of a contest as well. In Philadelphia's Veterans Stadium, there was a dramatic subplot to this battle of 2 teams with identical records. The outcome of this game within a game was decided on the 5th play of the first quarter, when Harold Carmichael drove off the line, then pivoted back to take a screen pass from Ron Jaworski. The net gain was merely 5 yards, but the result was much grander, for Carmichael had set a new NFL record for consecutive games catching passes with 106 straight. And the 69,000 in the stands, as well as Carmichael's Eagle teammates, roared their appreciation. As a salute to the record-breaking feat of consistency, the game was stopped, and the 6'8 receiver's wife and small child were brought on the field, while Carmichael was presented with a special game ball, 106 long-stemmed roses, and a trophy measuring 23 feet 9 inches tall. Fittingly, several moments later, the first touchdown of the day was scored by the man of the day himself, when quarterback Ron Jaworski spotted him alone at the rear of the Cleveland end zone. On a day when the sun shone brightly and the Eagle offense got in gear early, it appeared to be a super day for Harold Carmichael and his Eagle teammates. The first sign it wouldn't be came when the extra point was blocked. Then the Cleveland Browns got their hands on the football for the first time. The Browns, refusing to be dazzled by the Eagle ongoings, had struck quickly for a touchdown. Brian Sight to Reggie Rucker. Philadelphia knew it needed a good rush today. But on the score, Sipe had plenty of time to wait for Rucker to come open, then hit him with the equalizer. The extra point put Cleveland up by 1. The next time they got the ball, Cleveland's dangerous air attack continued to click, although a little luck played a big part. Reggie Rucker's rebound reception gained 31 yards deep into Eagle real estate. But here the home team's defense asserted itself for the first time. Don Cockroft was called upon, and as he usually does, the league's most accurate kicker came through for 3 points with a 39-yard field goal that put Cleveland on top 10-6. It was a lead that lasted only 5 more minutes. Wilbert Montgomery, with blocks from number 20 Leroy Harris and number 69 Woody Peoples, turned on the afterburners and streaked 62 yards down the left sideline. The game had suddenly turned with one snap of the ball because of a super runner, something the Browns lacked with the absence of Greg Pruitt. It looked like Wilbert Montgomery would be the difference between the 2 teams. Another look at the run shows Wilbert cradling the ball with 2 hands at the start of his long journey down the sideline. This was significant because he has a history of fumbling, a fact that would be painfully apparent later in the game. Ahead now 13-10, Philadelphia had a great chance to pad their lead late in the first half. With under 2 minutes left, Jaworski went on a passing binge that took the team 87 yards. After hitting Keith Krefley and Carmichael for advances of 16 and 18 yards over the middle, Jaworski avoided a heavy rush by unloading to Montgomery all alone in the middle. The pass was good for 26 yards and a first down on the Cleveland 21. Here was a golden chance for Philly to go into the locker room ahead by 10. Instead, number 28, Cleveland cornerback Ron Bolton made a great defensive play. Jaworski had Krepley open in the end zone, but Bolton flashed in front of him, picking off the pass and ending the Eagle threat. Because of Ron Bolton, Philadelphia's halftime margin was merely 3 points, 13-10. In the third quarter, the Eagle defense simply dominated the Browns. The key was a pass rush which sacked Sipe 4 times. Its leader is Carl Hairston, number 78, who is quickly gaining recognition as one of the best defensive ends in the league. The defense also made 3 interceptions, 2 of which led to field goals by barefooted Tony Franklin, that increased the Eagles' third quarter lead to 19-10. The Eagles were now completely outplaying Cleveland and sensing victory. Philly fans screamed for more. It appeared they might get it when midway through the fourth quarter, Jaworski lofted a beautiful pass that Carmichael took into Cleveland territory. There was little more than 6 minutes left in the game, but now everything changed. Ironically, the reason was Wilbert Montgomery. In the midst of a career-high 197-yard rushing day, the Eagles setback made 2 costly fumbles. The first just stopped a drive, but the second was fatal for Philadelphia. With 4:13 showing on the clock, Montgomery lost the ball on the Eagle 29, and Cleveland had the break they so desperately needed. Throughout the second half, the shadows of defeat had been darkening due to Philadelphia's defensive dominance. Now faced with a do-or-die opportunity, the Browns' dormant attack had to surface again. Robbed of their customary outside speed because of Greg Pruitt's injury, Cleveland inserted 5'7" Dino Hall into the lineup for outside speed. The strategy worked as number 26, the smallest man in the league, sped outside the perimeter of the Eagle defense, 24 yards to the 5. Dino Hall had provided a big play to a team that needed one. And on the next snap, Sipe rolled right and hit tight end Ozzie Newsome for 6 points. Another view of the score shows Sipe barely eluded a blitz to get the ball over number 58 Eagle linebacker Terry Totolo. With his team now trailing by only 2 points, Sam Ratigliano left it to his defense to stop the Eagles. They did, and with just 2 minutes left, Sipe led them on a long, pressure-packed march upfield, fighting the clock and Eagle defenders. Using mostly short passes to his setbacks, the tactic was designed to set the ball up for a Don Cockroft field goal. But happily for Cleveland, with a minute 2 showing, that plan went awry on the Eagle 24. Massive Mike Pruitt, the Browns fullback, went 24 yards on a play that was designed to go only 5 or 6. What happened was the Eagles were caught in a blitz. Veteran Calvin Hill, number 35, blocked the linebacker, and the 230-pound Pruitt did the rest, stiff-arming one Eagle on the way to his touchdown. For the so-called other Pruitt, it was the end of a 104-yard rushing afternoon. And for the Browns, a team of self-proclaimed destiny, it was another come-from-behind touchdown. The 5th time in 9 games, Cleveland has done it in the final 2 minutes. For the Eagles and their head coach Dick Vermeil, it was the shock and frustration of seeing a certain victory somehow slip away. Vermeil's displeasure with the performance of his defense may have been misplaced. For the most part, they contained Cleveland, one of the most explosive passing teams in football. If the finger of blame must be pointed, it probably should have gone to the Eagle offense, which seemed to sit on their 9-point lead, then give up the ball on those 2 crucial turnovers. But as 69,000 fans sat silent, their hopes of catching Dallas in the NFC East all but gone, there was still time for one last try at victory. Behind by 5 points with 55 seconds showing on the clock, the Eagle offense came winging downfield on the rifle right arm of Ron Jaworski.
Good kick. catch by Charles Smith, the wide receiver. Only his 17th reception of the year. Jaworski comes up limping. Eagles will take a timeout. Philadelphia will have the ball on their own 46-yard line. 22 yards on the play. Here it is.
Jaworski, a good throw and an outstanding catch by Smith, but he pays the price as the camera leaves him, and he takes a real shot when he released the football. Calling timeout right away, 28 seconds remaining. They have to have a touchdown. They're 5 points down. They've got to get into the end zone. The Cleveland Browns know that. They're going to concede the short stuff, hoping to keep the runner inbounds, use all their timeouts, and the clock is what they're working on right now. But you'll see the secondary for the Cleveland Browns. They're some 20, 25 yards deep when the ball is snapped to the quarterback.
Line of scrimmage, the Eagles' 46-yard line. First down. 28 seconds remaining.
2 timeouts remaining for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Next week, Cleveland will host Seattle on Sunday. Eagles will be at Dallas Monday night, a week from tomorrow. Both backs in the block. Then Montgomery slips out. Dropped off to Montgomery. Montgomery heads for the sideline. He gets out of bounds. He stops the clock. He picks up about 9 yards on the play. Ricky Jones was chasing him. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network. Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson, 21 seconds left to go in this ball game. Cleveland 24, Philadelphia 19. Eagles have the ball at the Cleveland 45-yard line. 21 seconds remaining.
Couldn't ask for a more thrilling finish than this football game has been.
5 on the pattern. This one is filled. It's there. Carmichael to the 20, inside the 15, 11-yard line, close to the 10. Eagles stop the clock with a timeout. 11 seconds remaining. Oh my, what a ball game.
I said you couldn't ask for a more thrilling finish, and they're going to go right down, I'm sure, to the last second this football game. Jaworski getting good protection by his offensive line because Cleveland knows he has to throw the football. A good throw to 6'8" Harold Carmichael, and now he turns into a runner after he catches the football, taking the ball down to about the 11-yard line before he stopped. There's one more timeout remaining for Philadelphia, and they've got, Charlie, they take 3 shots or 4 shots into the end zone right now from the 11-yard line with 11 seconds remaining in this ball game.
His 5th reception for 95 yards. At the Cleveland Brown 11-yard line, first down. 11 seconds. That last play took 10 seconds. Jaworski has completed 15 of 21 for 205 yards, and right after the ball game, NFL report in New York. And one of the games that they will really be talking about is this one.
Well, I'll tell you, as a man that's 6 feet 8 inches tall makes a very inviting target to throw to down on the goal line because no one can out-jump him in the secondary of the Cleveland Browns. And secondly, throwing the ball, there is always a possibility of pass interference on a big man like Harold Carmichael, and you get the ball on the 1-yard line.
Carmichael goes wide to the far side. Smith is also there. Jaworski throws it. Pass is complete at the 10. It's to Harris. Harris is in trouble. He's using up a lot of the clock. He'll end up losing a yard. 1 second remaining. That play took 10 seconds.
The one thing you did not want to do is throw the ball and keep it in play. It should have been thrown into the end zone. Because if it isn't completed, so what? You got another shot the next down. Or there's even a possibility that there could have been a penalty in the end zone. But don't throw it short where a man has to try to run it in, because if he gets tackled, what happens is exactly what happened now. 1 second remaining, and they have 1 play left, as opposed to perhaps they might have had 2 more.
They have no timeouts remaining. That's what the official came over. That's academic because we have 1 second left.
You can see right there, he should have unloaded the ball right there. This is an outlet to number 20, Harris. He should have jumped too. He should have just gone for the sidelines. Now there's no out for him right there. Cleveland Browns all around him.
And he held the ball close to 5 seconds after the pass was complete. So you're right. That cost him 2 extra plays.
Mr. Jones, this is it. The last play of the ball game, win or lose for Philadelphia on this play.
And it's right here. 3 wide receivers are in as Scott Fitzke comes in. Montgomery comes out. Smith, Fitzke, and Carmichael the wide receivers. Krefley's the tight end. 1 second to go.
All that movement down there, and he didn't gain a yard either. It's still on the 11-yard line.
Carmichael to the right side. Fitzke far side. Time is out. End zone tipped. It is intercepted. It is intercepted by Charlie Hall. Cleveland intercepts. And that is the ball game as the Browns come from behind. And they win it 24-19. Lynn?
Well, I tell you, Cleveland has been doing it all year long, and you can see Sam Bertigliano discussing something with the referee, but they have come from behind. Brian Sipe has done a magnificent job all year long. He did it once again this afternoon as they defeated the Philadelphia Eagles coming from behind. Philadelphia at one time looked like they had complete control of the football game, but fumbles really hurt them.
So Cleveland stays alive in the playoff picture. Their record now is 7-3. The Eagles, their work is really cut out for them. Their record drops to 6-4. Turnovers, Philadelphia suffered 4, Cleveland suffered 3. But you have to give credit to Brian Sipe. This is the man who engineered the comeback for the Cleveland Browns here today. So it has been a great ball game. This has been Lynn Dawson, Charlie Jones. A final score once again. Cleveland Browns 24, Philadelphia Eagles 19.